We've been talking about doing another video, and we just could not make our mind up on what kind to do. We got a little bit of everything going on. A lot of it's interesting. A lot of it is the old hum stuff. So we thought today we'd just kind of do a quick walkthrough video of what some of the things are pending in the shop, some of the jobs we have, we're in the middle of, we're going to be doing. And we'll just start at my bench, and we'll just make the rounds and go through the whole shop and point out a few different things we're doing. Before I was interrupted by the guy making videos here, I was in the process of rebuilding a superposed. I just put a new locking bolt in it, and was back on the surface grinder, grinding the flats on it, getting it ready to reinstall. I got to do some final fitting on it, and that's going to be a superposed rebuild. We'll go into that later. We'll do a separate video on that one these days about how we go about rebuilding a superposed video. All right. We'll move along. We'll move around in the shop. Next to me here is a cart full of A5 receivers and barrels. These are all receivers that are going out for engraving. The light's not real good over here, but as you can see, the engraving's been pretty much wiped out on these. The borders have been replaced. I do that. I can wriggle those borders. That's pretty elementary stuff. The scroll work, I am not one to do that. I've got to get up to the regular engraver. So these have been polished. A lot of engraving's been removed, and I have replaced the borders. So this cart is going to the engraver man, and he's got a lot to do there. And he'll put all that engraving back on and make those look like new again. This little machine back behind here is a pantograph. That's a machine we use for relettering and putting different things on guns. Over on this bench we've got a bunch of double autos. We've been doing a lot of these things lately. I've got some receivers here that we've had anodized. We've done a couple in purple lately. We think those look pretty cool. Had a green one done here, and I just told them a forest green. I don't really like that color of green, but that's what I got back. And, we'll make do with it. Then I told him to do one in a bronze. That's kind of a bronzy brown looking. But as you can see now, I've wriggled this border back in. Now we're going to send it to the engraver, and he's going to engrave it. And once he does, they'll come back looking like these finished products here. This is a purple one we did. I wriggled the border. The engraver put all this scroll work in, and he adds a little extra just for a little extra touch. Now this particular gun was a kind of an unusual one. A man came in the shop the other day and he saw that we had a purple receiver. And believe this or not, he's a fan of Prince. Remember the rocker Prince? I mean, a guy my age really didn't know much about him. He said, yeah, we're real Prince fans. He said, and Prince, his color was purple. I don't know any of this. That's what he was telling me. He says, and hey, Prince had a logo he used that he was kind of known by. And he brought out a picture of it and gave it to me. He said, could you put that on that purple gun? I said, well, we can do about anything. And so we did. We gave the logo to the engraver, and embedded in this engraving is the Prince logo. We just do what we're told. That's what we do. It's on both sides, embedded in the engraving. That's the Prince logo. So that's what he wanted. That's what we gave him. That gun is ready to pick up. It's going to Iowa. Here's another finished one. This one was more of a bronze color. I told them to do it in bronze, and they did. And we just did the standard engraving pattern on it, but that's a pretty cool looking gun. Something different. It was black, I believe, or it could have been a silver receiver. And here's one. We do a lot of these in blue. That's a real popular color. This is a 20 weight done in the blue. And guys like that stuff, and it is kind of cool. So these all have pretty much standard engraving on them. This one has just a little extra in the border, in the corners. All of these are going to have a little extra engraving put on them, I believe. We're finishing the wood. We finished the wood on all these, blued the barrels, rebuilt the guns, and test fired them. So we sell and do a lot of double autos. We got a pretty good sized batch of them going down for engraving, and got some more going down for anodizing. So that's what we're doing with double autos today. So moving on, let's back behind is a wall full of auto 5s hanging here. They've been blued. You can see the tape all over them. Those are just serial numbers. Waiting on the wood for those. Wood's being finished. Once those get finished, a lot of those are mine. Some of them are customer guns. So a lot of things going over around my bench here today. Always is every day. All right, we're going to mosey on down through the shop a little bit. A lot of A5 barrels hanging here. These have all been blued. These are serial numbers, so we can just kind of look up, and we've got to kind of match these up with receivers. These are all blued and ready to match up and go. Down here is a batch of work that's coming together, getting ready to be blued. These have all been polished. You can see it's polished. They've been re-engraved, and those are headed for the bluing tank. So that's what's going on over here. Now we're going to be adding about twice that much to it before we fire up the bluing tank, and that'll be a big day of bluing. So that's what we're doing down this corner. Let's mosey on back to the let's go on the other side over here. Let's go. On the way over, I'll point out to you, the light's not very good over here. A little salt super I bought the other day, and it is really bad. And I think we're going to do a separate video on this. We're going to kind of show it from beginning to end. It's actually got metal that's just been eaten away. This is a real hot salt gun. You can tell the way it's bubbling the finish off the stock, but we'll go into that later and maybe do a separate video on that. This rack here is all gun work here that's come in. We're waiting on approvals. I don't like to start things unless they've been approved, so that's what that rack is there. So we're moseying around through the shop. On this bench is a lot of small parts that are ready to be polished that go to these receivers. Here's a superpose, lots of auto 5s in here, the trigger guards and the screws. That's all waiting to be polished. Mostly Brownings, that's what we do. There's a few different ones in there, Winchesters and what have you, mostly Browning. Okay, moseying down through the shop. I took in just a little bit ago some rebores. I got 3 barrels to rebore, and we might just do a separate video on those a little bit and kind of show you how we go about reboring these barrels to open them up for more open chokes. Along the wall is a bunch more of auto 5s hanging over yonder, waiting for wood. Parts scattered all through the shop here. Here's some of those double autos I'm talking about. These have been stripped and polished, and these are going to the anodizer to be anodized, and we'll do some exotic engraving on those just for kicks. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, we have a lazy dog here under feet. Molly is kind of a shop dog that really doesn't really, well, she's just in a way. That's what they do. They spend their day sleeping. So let's mosey on back. I don't think there's anything else up here really. Oh, the other dog over here? Yeah, we have another dog laying. Poor old Drake. He has a hard time every day. It's not easy in this shop, laying in here under the air conditioning. Poor thing. Look at him. Okay, Nick, he's over here doing something on some kind of a superposed barrel. I think he's just assembling today. I saw him go down and get some barrels out of the safe where they were curing, and he's assembling superposed. Oh, and he's pointed out to me a bad ejector extension on this one. This is the new style ejectors, and they like to crack. There's a little crack right in there. We're going to have to replace that because, yeah, they eventually will break right in two. So, not unusual to have cracked ejector. Some of these parts are obsolete from Browning. I've had to have them made in a machine shop, especially the under ejector extensions. We've done that. Jason over here, I don't know. He's doing something. Oh, he's putting together a pointer, it looks like. 410 pointer, maybe?
Yep.
Yep. I know what that one is. I know where that goes. That's our gun. That gun's going up for sale. It was a good little gun. They just hunted with it and taken it out and used it, and it just needed to be re-grade, need the barrels redone, the wood finished and rebuilt. That's what we did. It just makes it look a whole lot better. So that's what's going on over here. We've got some superposed barrels hanging here that have been finished. They've been rust blued. Those are getting ready to be installed on some guns as soon as we can find them. So in the vault here we have guns that we are selling. This vault was full about this time last year, and it has emptied out. I am really low. I've got a lot more guns coming that will be finishing up and they're going to be put in here. We have lots and lots of Auto 5s. We have a lot of superposed, a lot of 22 Auto. I'm a kind of a Browning guy, and that's mostly what I do. Not to say I don't have a few different odd things up here on the rack. I see a nylon 66 and some other things, but some Model 12s. That's not really my cup of tea, but I do get them on occasion. So we're going to mosey on back now to our polishing area.
Talk about your new polishers.
The new polisher?
Talk about it.
What new polisher?
You see them back there.
Well, these are old. These guys have been here forever. So we're stepping back into another phase. This is where a lot of the polishing is done. Here's polishing buffers, grinders, polishers lined up down through here. That's all part of the bluing process, getting these guns prepped and ready to blue. And we have over on the polishing bench, believe it or not, we've got 4 guys over here polishing today. A guy on each corner. It's a heavy duty bench, and they're able to really knock those things out. They've got, lined up in front of them here, a lot of different guns that need to be polished. A5s, as you can see, they almost made near 3 million of the things, so there's a lot of them out there. In all different shapes and forms. Here's one with a lot of rust on it. That's got to go. That rust will have to come off. They come in all different degrees. So this is where a lot of polishing is taking place right here. Let's go around over here. This is just a walkthrough day. Okay, here's a couple guys over here polishing away. Now here's one of those odd guns I'm talking about. That's a Winchester Model 24. I don't do those very often, but a man wanted one done, so I'm doing it. Back behind is a rack. These are pretty much empty boxes. These are all guns that are in the shop. Guys will send us guns in their plastic cases, and that's a good way to ship a gun. And so I've got their cases back here, and I'm going to put their gun back in it and return it to them in that plastic case. These numbers on the end are all invoice numbers, so that's what that rack is there. That's what that is. Moving around, let's see here. What do we have? I see a lot of polishing going on. We've got a BAR here that is not going to get, well, the barrel's going to get polished, and it's going to get blued, and it's going to be pretty rough, but that's a grade 4. Then we'll have to grade the receiver after that's done. So that's just one of many back here that's got to be done. So that's what's going on back here. More grinding, polishing, buffing equipment, our surface grinder for fitting locking bolts, a little milling machine, a lathe, and back around, back through all the area where the polishing, grinding, and buffing takes place, right through here. So that's about all there is to see back here. Nothing really special back here. And let's mosey back up into the shop where we came from. Maybe we'll walk down to the wood shop real quick and look at some of the things going on down there. All right, we're down in one of the wood shops here. A lot of those guns up there hanging on the wall need wood, and here's a lot of it hanging here in the process. These are holders made out of conduit that just, you got to have something to hold on to while you're finishing these things. These are a bunch of rifles we're doing. Of course, lots of Auto 5s. These have all been They're in the process. Most of them look like they've been sprayed, and like a second coat, they have been. Then what they're these are hanging here. These have had a second coat shot on them. It's all about filling the pores. And then back in the back, I see some that they have scuffed down. They are breaking these down with about a 600 grit paper, and that gets all the orange peel out of them, makes them nice and glossy and flat when they buff them. And back behind are the buffing wheels that they will buff these with. These buffing wheels are a loose unstitched muslin wheel, and they will buff those stocks on these wheels, the ones behind you that we were just talking about that have been broke down with the 600 grit. They will be buffed on these wheels, and that'll give them that high gloss shine. This one's been buffed back here in the back. I can see it's real. It's there's no orange peel in it. It's nice, smooth, flat browning type of finish. And I can tell you that's a Midas from the looks of the checkering pattern. So a lot going on down here, and we have another guy that's doing wood for us. My son lives about 100 miles away from here, and he does wood on a full-time basis, so we have lots and lots of wood going on. Lots of wood finishing. So that's really all there is to see down here in this shop. Okay, well, hey, I appreciate everyone taking the time to watch our latest video. I get a lot of compliments on these videos. Guys seem to really like them, and we'll get busy and try to get you a few more out there so you can see how things are going in our gun shop here. Thank you for watching.